Mhm.
All right, now I heard it. All right. Hello, welcome to episode 40 of Ring Takes here. Of course, I'm joined by Brian and Lewis. A lot of stuff going on in the wrestling world, especially in WWE. Crown Jewel just happened, so we're going to be talking about that. Crown Jewel and Raw recap and the return of War Games. But first, we're going to get into our Crown Jewel reaction. Let's bring up our updated. Begrudgingly, I'm going to bring up these listings, but we all did good. We all did good.
Okay, all right.
Brian is at 30. Okay. Lewis is at 48 and 17, and I'm at 36 and 29. Only one L on the night. Coming up. Everything's turning around. This is the perfect time. Perfect time. But we can get into the first match of the night. Ironically, the first match of the night. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Hard-hitting affair. Really good match. I'm surprised, especially with how Drew has worked. We've seen him work in the past with a couple of guys, and it's been kind of clunky. But this one was pretty good between him and Seth. You can see the attention to Seth's back. Drew McIntyre working him down, obviously working him down. What do you guys think about this match with Seth retaining, and especially with the ending with Damian Priest and Sami Zayn coming out in that whole fiasco?
Great way to start off the show. Seth and Drew, they've matched up before. I specifically remember. Surprised. Yeah, I was actually surprised too, because when you look at all the stories going into this event, you could definitely say that Seth and Drew have one of the top compelling storylines. So to see that they kicked off the show was definitely a very interesting decision. But at the same time, they've had history with one another before, and that history has always resulted in great matches. I can remember when they actually fought during the pandemic when Drew was champion and Seth was the heel. So now we get the change of dynamic for this match. Great way to start off the night, like Daniel mentioned. The psychology.
Is he a heel? Is he a heel?
I think we talked about this
very slow burn.
Week. Yeah, exactly. We talked about this last week. Lewis had mentioned it last week when we were making our picks that Drew was kind of teetering towards that heel side, and that a loss would eventually result in him going full heel. We didn't really get a sense of that this past Monday on Raw, but we definitely see the slow burn is indeed coming. But it was a great match. It was a great way to start off the show. I definitely love the finish, the closing sequence, the last 5 minutes with the back and forth between them. You really couldn't tell which way they were going to go. I actually thought that at one point Drew was going to come out on top, but luckily Seth pulled it out. And I love the business that they did at the very end with the Money in the Bank briefcase and Damian Priest coming out and Sami Zayn still in the briefcase, which obviously adds another layer to that 3-month story between Judgment Day.
Sami Zayn is Repo Man.
Exactly. He's the pirate that's still But great way to start off the show.
Yeah, it was a hell of a match. Drew looks great. Seth looks great. And while you were talking, Brian, the one thought that actually has been coming up is like you can tell that Triple H is definitely running the show just because of how literally matches are ending on their own. It's not bullshit interferences. It's not, maybe on the Roman side, with just because of that story. But like,
hey, all that matters is the 1, 2, 3 in the ring. That's all that matters.
I'm just saying, from years past, how many pay-per-views, every title match, somebody interferes, somebody gets DQ, somebody does something, and it's just like, I remember when I would watch NXT, and it was just like, these guys are literally just having a match, and either this person wins, that person wins. It's like a clean. I feel like it was almost like Bigfoot. Like we can never get clean wins like for a while. And now that Triple H is like, you're like, damn, Seth beat Drew clean, Seth beat this person clean, Shinsuke clean, even though it's like no DQ, whatever. But it's like they're actually like, hey, this person beat that person. It's not always like, unless it's like part of a story, like, you got Judgment Day, you got Bloodline, whatever, obviously those things come into play. But when you have somebody like Seth who's like literally defending his champion all the time and getting these clean wins, they're like, I feel like it just builds up these these guys, and it just gives them like credibility, and Drew is not, he's not somebody lightly to be taken. I know we were all debating like, hey, I know Dan was like, no, he's got to get the win. It's that time, and I feel like it is time, but I feel they're not going to do it until Drew's like full blown heel, which I feel we've all been saying is needed, but his time is definitely coming. We don't know when. Maybe it could be Mania. Who knows? But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I just want to add that. I mean, we got Clash at the Castle. I know he's had another. Title opportunity since then. I mean, we had Clash at the Castle. We had the IC title triple threat at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. The 1-on-1 with Gunther at SummerSlam, and now we have the title opportunity he had against Seth. So that's 4 major title opportunities now that he's come up short now. So you would think that a full-fledged heel turn would be the way to go.
He's a main event loser. He's a loser, ladies and gentlemen. A loser.
No, I'm just saying, name all these opportunities. He hasn't won the big one since he beat Brock in the Performance Center. So
I was mad at the finish because it's like, again, it's just the way that they've been telling this story about Seth being injured, his back, all this other stuff. Who's more, outside of probably Gunther and all these other big guys, who's more physically opposing than Drew? Who's more tactical than Drew McIntyre? Who's more powerful outside of Gunther on the Raw roster? Maybe Bronson Reed, those big guys, but they haven't had the ring work yet that Drew has, all right? So just for me picking Drew, I'm like, everything's lining up for him to win. It's international. They can have something big happen on the house show like that, on the Crown Jewel like that, international. Give him that moment in front of those fans. Though the work he's been putting in, he's been getting people over, taking the L's constantly. So it's like, at what point, like, again, I just feel like WWE's missing their moments to we've been saying give Seth Rollins a break. Maybe it's being exaggerated for TV purposes, his injury and stuff like that. But he's been going at a long rate for a while now. So it's like, what is it? Is it the injury really there? Because if Drew McIntyre can't.
But Dan,
if Drew McIntyre,
don't we need to finish all these stories? Don't we just love this long-term booking?
That's not the Cody Rhodes story.
Missing their moments. Is that something that happened at WrestleMania? Is that something that happened at WrestleMania?
That's not Cody Rhodes' story, though.
It's not. That's not Cody Rhodes' story. Seems like it's been a long.
That's the long-term story booking that we need. But in terms of Drew, it's just, I just don't understand how he's not able to get that done. You know what I mean? Like, he's been put through the ringer month after month, and Drew McIntyre, who's this physically imposing guy, who's hungry, who hasn't had a big-time win, who hasn't had that moment. We talked about the promo packages before Crown Jewel, how it's like, this guy's going to be a player. And then all of a sudden he loses again. What is he?
Okay, so the reason when we were picking, and I was just like, Crown Jewel just does not look like the place where Drew is going to win. It just, for me, it didn't feel like the right place. Obviously, we're not getting another Clash at the Castle anytime soon. That, honestly, for me, should have been, well, whatever. That's a different story. Yep. That's a different whatever. And we didn't have. I don't think we had the World Heavyweight title at that time anyway. But Crown Jewel just didn't seem like the place. And honestly, like you said, he's not full heel yet. So then you basically have 2 baby faces going at it to see who's what. So that's why I was like, I don't see Seth losing here. And yes, I fully agree. But what they've been hinting at, what they've been throwing out with the Judgment Day and, Drew not being the same Drew, it's just that turn is coming. And I feel like he has to get to that dark side to be like, you know what, screw everybody. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my championship, which is why I'm feeling like it might even be at like WrestleMania. I feel like because they haven't shown anything that's like, they show him talking to the Judgment Day. We don't know what the hell they were talking about. Afterwards,
I mean, after that match, that looked bad. That looked bad. It's like, you look terrible losing.
Exactly.
And not getting
but this is my thing with the whole Judgment Day thing. I'm like, what? Drew joins is gonna be full black mascara and shit. Like, that's not Drew.
Scottish psychopath. The black vest with the hair down.
Scottish goth drummer. Like, he's gonna come out with a nose ring and shit. No, like, come on. He doesn't even have tattoos.
Hey, Drew, can you just get a Judgment Day tattoo on your bicep?
Can you get like a dirty Dom thing right here real quick and just it just doesn't I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know what they were even just teasing that for the purpose of that match, but him just like joining the Judgment Day just didn't make sense to me. So I think his heel turn is going to come on his own. Like, he's either going to go after Seth full blown now and just like either beat the crap out of him. I don't know what they're playing, but I know his time is definitely coming. And I don't know if it has to do with this whole contract thing because, we've heard that it got extended because of like injuries and stuff. So maybe they don't want to put the title on him yet. It could be a plethora of things. So we don't know.
Well, if they give him what he's doing, what he's earned, and give him that contract, then maybe we can actually move forward and give him some compelling stories.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys a question. It's more so towards Seth. Since the Nakamura feud, now his back is like a primary focus now moving forward on Raw. And I just want to know, how do you guys like that, or do you think that's something that should have just stayed in the Nakamura feud and they should have just moved on from it? Because it seems like his back.
I don't think they can ignore it. I don't think they can ignore it at this point. Because a back injury,
it's
a back injury. It'd be one thing if he like sprained his ankle, whatever. But it's like, you guys built this whole thing like he has a broken back. He has this. Nobody with a broken back is going through those type of matches and still coming out on top. Like,
I would like it if they wrapped his ribs like DDP back in the day and really sold the injury that way.
When in a body cast, just like, come here.
No, like just the rap. If you remember DDP when he fought Savage, Macho Man Randy Savage.
They used to rap it as soon as he started to catch, they rip it off.
Dope. Like, I need you to sell it. Just when you land on your back.
In the match with Sami Zayn, he did have the medical tape on his back, so it's not the same, but it's still be the
90% of people don't know what the hell that is.
Hey, you see a lot of athletes
people don't know what that is. You think little kids know what that is? You think little kids know what that is? How they don't know it's a part of his ring gear?
They're like, they're taping his back together.
Like, what are we doing? Like, what is like? It's a Band-Aid. Like, what is that? Like, come on, we need
Band-Aid. It's not something. It's for like muscle.
We need him being We need him being helped out the arena. we need the whole spiel. Like, go all in with the sell job if we're going to make.
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, because of the way they've been targeting the back, I feel like Nakamura should have been like kind of like the last boss to be like, yo, I'm gonna really go after your back. But I don't know. I'm not saying that Seth isn't doing a great job, and hey, he's been defending the title like crazy. He's been getting like I said, he's been getting the clean wins, but it's like I feel like it's time for a new change. And I mean, I know we're gonna talk about it later about Raw, and I knew it wasn't gonna happen. I was secretly hoping Sami was gonna win, and I didn't like the quick roll up. Like, really, Sami's gonna lose in a quick roll up. Like, but we'll talk about it later.
Apparently, that's how you protect the
I guess.
No, it's not just a WWE thing. It's an AEW thing. It's a TNA thing. It's a professional wrestling thing now. No,
it's a wrestling.
Baby faces now. Now baby faces lose the roll up.
Sneaky pen.
No, my whole thing about it is, now that you guys are talking about Seth and stuff like that, I watched Survivor Series 1996 earlier, and HBK won the title at WrestleMania and then lost to Psycho Sid at Survivor Series 96. And it was the whole thing. The crowd was getting tired of him. I'm not tired of Seth. Obviously, his song is still going high, but the run to me is just not holding up. And I'm just like, we need some type of change. And it's not saying that he can't be in the title picture. He needs a rival. He needs somebody. That's what builds your title run. You just don't just beat the person one after another. You kind of need a rival for a couple pay-per-views. And I don't feel like we're getting that. And I feel like that's the one thing that's missing. He doesn't have that person.
Like if it was Drew, like this should have been like a DQ scenario, so then he gets another rematch type thing, kind of.
Or I don't like the DQ finishes because it's just like Like I'm not saying they should have did a roll up or anything like that.
I think right now they're just trying to highlight as many people as they can. You got that how you highlight Shinsuke, you highlight Drew.
I get it from that standpoint. Yeah,
you know. I think they're honestly just really building it up as the workhorse title, where it's just like I'm beating people left and right. But it's like, and then I think that it's also
that's the thing with the Money in the
Bank thing
because it's like them.
You said
but
what?
That's the thing. That's the thing. He's beating them, and then they just. He's beating him, and then they just go to the back of the line.
He's that good.
Because he's a Triple H guy.
I get that, but the thing to me, the thing that's missing is that constant rival that he has. Like Triple H had The Rock, Austin had The Undertaker. Austin had.
Are you referring to someone like Brock Lesnar?
In that case, there's only one guy I can think of that would fill that void, and that'd be AJ Styles if he was on Raw. Now, if you're talking about a guy who's constantly butting heads with, that you always have great matches with,
or Brock Lesnar.
You're gonna have Brock Lesnar for 3 pay-per-views in a row to build a feud. 3
pay-per-views in a row.
Have they not done it with Roman?
Unless you pay him like $2 million per, he's not doing that shit.
Why not? Like you said, he's a free agent, right?
Yeah, like I said, if you pay him $2 million per, bro, Brock will show up. But you're not gonna do that shit.
I know it's been a couple weeks, but Omos is getting the title shot at the Rumble. Book it.
Why must you bring negativity to this show by saying that man's name? And that man is done. And I'm assuming that video that we saw on social media of him throwing Cody in the ring, and I was thinking that's where they were going. I guarantee you they saw that shit and they realized, Cody and Omos, absolutely not.
Oh my!
Granted, we got a couple more months of him in Judgment Day. Which hasn't been great booking, but clearly it was better than putting him with Omos. So, I make my case.
I'm just saying. You guys mentioned free agent. Omos is the biggest free agent.
You know what? Now that Dan's bringing him up, watch it's gonna be Omos who beats like Gunther or something.
Yeah,
be the biggest letdown.
If they do that,
he just picks him up.
Do that.
He wins.
If they do that, that is disgusting. That is disgusting. If they do that.
I mean, see,
those are his name like Candyman over here trying to get
those are the decisions that lose viewership. those are the blunders that cost you viewership. So you don't do stuff like that.
He's a main attraction. What are you talking about?
How?
You guys paying attention to me? Making that decision.
You know what they said an attraction wins.
No, making that decision is the equivalent of this. Remember? It's the equivalent of this.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, but
you just said.
We'll see how that
continues
to build up, especially.
That's why it's tough with Seth. It's like he's doing a great job. He's getting the wins. I think we all kind of just. And how long has he had this title since SummerSlam or before that? No, way before that.
May.
Since May. They had the tournament. Yeah, they had the tournament at
It was in Saudi Arabia.
He won the title in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
I think that was Night of Champions, right? It was Night of Champions. Yeah.
So it's like
May. So it's been 6 months.
What better place for him to lose it?
Booking-wise, that would have made sense, but yeah. I wonder if they're really thinking that. Oh, okay, we want Seth to go into WrestleMania as champion. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea.
It's looking that way.
I don't think that's a good idea because if you have both of your world champions going in as champion, and we already know, and we already think that we know Cody's going to end up facing Roman, and Cody's going to come out on top. At least that's what we're hoping and predicting. And if you're having Seth going as world champion, and he's had this long reign, I mean, it would almost make sense that he would retain now because
it depends on the opponent, because we did see the tweet